Welcome. I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on weird and true mysterious stories, from glitches to the paranormal. Would you like even more content? Here's my Patreon. Now onto the stories. Case file number 1085, written by EatinBeav. On a dark winter night, a mysterious voice saved a child's life. I'm a firefighter, and we got a call for an overdose around 3 a.m. to a rough part in our district in the middle of winter.
What's the emergency? Hi,
Unfortunately, the patient was long gone, and her dealer, or whatever, found her like that when he dropped some stuff. As we were packing up our stuff, mind you, this is an absolutely trashed mobile home, I heard something down the hall that said,
"Lights."
I asked my partner if he said anything, as it was just him and me cleaning up, and he said no. I walked to the far end of the trailer, where I heard it, and shined my flashlight. I get a reflection out of the window. They have a small tool shed, and it has a flickering light. It piqued my interest, so my partner and I went out there. We heard crying, and noticed the door is padlocked. We cut it, and this little 6-year-old girl was in there.
Mommy, where are you? I'm scared.
She said her mom puts her in there when she gets mad at her. She said she got scared when she heard the sirens and didn't know what to do. To this day, I have no idea what happened or where the voice came from, but I'll take the win on it. What happened after? My partner and I took her to the children's hospital closest to us, and we wrote our report and ate chips and a sandwich we took from the lounge while they called a social worker. She was a really sweet girl. The voice we had heard saying lights was not a little girl's voice. I 100% thought it was my partner since it sounded like a guy. Case notes for file 1085. On a dark winter night, a mysterious voice saved a child's life. So this is a genuine guardian angel story. I honestly think there was some force or entity, a will, a sentience involved, benevolent, that wanted to help save that precious baby girl with a full life ahead of her. And I don't think it was related to whoever died because, again, you said it was a male voice, not female. So dead of winter, freezing. She wouldn't have lasted the night, most likely, if that voice hadn't appeared from nowhere to alert you. Just incredible. To that mysterious voice, if you're God, the simulation developers, spirits, whoever it was, thank you. Case file number 1086, written by robotundies. My cat stole my baby's clothes in the middle of the night. I have a 15-week-old baby who woke up for a 4 a.m. feed and changed just now. My cat followed us into the kitchen and started eating his food very loudly next to us as I was putting some fresh pajamas on the baby. These PJs, like most baby PJs, have a little flap on the arm that folds over the hand to stop the baby scratching himself with the little razor blades he calls fingernails. Just as I am zipping the PJs up, the very noisy eating beside me just stops, and I'm aware of a very intense silence for a split second. Then I hear my cat stomping down the hallway towards us. I quickly turn to look, and yep, no cat at the bowl. But there was no way he could have made it back to the hallway so quickly. I thought that was super weird, but then I look back down and go to fold the pajama flaps over the baby's hands, and there are none. The flap is gone. It's important to note that these PJs are new. I'd bought this one and only set a size bigger than he needed because his hands were too big for the flaps on the smaller PJs, and he's been getting a lot of scratches lately. I had also put them on earlier in the day to check that the flaps were actually big enough, and they fit perfectly, so I'm 100% certain that they were there. Case notes for file 1086. My cat stole my baby's clothes in the middle of the night. So cats are expert thieves, masterclass indeed, rivaling even raccoons. They get more credit than they deserve in their criminal level. But seriously, it may not be related to the cat. That was the distraction, pulling your attention away for the universe to go along with its shenanigans of de-rendering and not properly re-rendering an item. As disappearing objects almost never, I think, I only read one story out of hundreds where a person saw the vanishment with their own eyes. It never disappears in front of us, and I think even in that context, it wasn't like a visual sight, it was just like on his lap or something, so it was still something you think would be rendered, but he didn't see it with his own eyes disappear. Something about perception prevents it. It's like game code. Wherever you look has to be rendered, and then when you're not looking, it's off screen, it's de-rendered, but still kept in RAM so it can be quickly refreshed, or not RAM, the video GPU memory, I believe. So it's very easily accessed, but it's a way to save on system resources, and it makes sense. If this is a simulation, you wouldn't render everything at the same time always, there's just too much. You'd only render the bits where people are actually interacting with it or are able to observe it. And then when people come close to it, then you bring it into memory and load it up. It makes much more sense, and it makes it much more conceivable that this is a simulation. If you're rendering everything at the scale, it's too detailed for it to be a simulation. Well, I think. If everything is rendering at exactly the same time in the entire universe, just the planet alone is a miraculous achievement. This level of detail, it's incredible. Bonus file, written by Justin Nicole 777. I had a dream about my friend's death, and then this happened. This one is insane, and I'm still wrapping my head around it. It's been a long process of uncovering. It just came out of nowhere. I had a dream in April of 2021. It was nighttime, and a friend of mine was hovering in the sky above me. He was invisible, but I could sense that it was him. He was urgently asking me for help. He said, "I was murdered. I have been trying to contact someone, but no one can hear me. You're the only one spiritual enough for me to get through." I didn't understand how I could help him. I was at a loss of direction. The confusion caused me to wake up. It was an extremely odd dream that I've never experienced before. It definitely perplexed me, but I wrote it off as a really weird dream and ignored it. But then, about 3 to 7 days later, I got the news that he had passed away. Literally no one would tell me how he passed. I didn't want to be insensitive, so I didn't pry. I just waited patiently until maybe I would find out. But fast forward to October 10th, 2022. I finally decided to be more intrusive, respectfully, and messaged a friend on his Facebook that posted on his page that I didn't know personally, and I messaged a girlfriend of one of his good friends as well. I asked them if they had happened to know how he passed. I'll copy and paste what the guy friend told me. Good morning. He went to a desert party and overdosed on bad substances. They believed foul play was suspected. There is an investigation to figure out what really happened. I tried to find out more, but I had no luck. Therefore, it was difficult to talk to the people face to face. Then I'll copy and paste what the girlfriend of a good friend of his said. It's really intense. He was on psychedelics and used a bottle to reach the end. It was at a party in the mountains and everyone was flucked up, so by the time he got to the hospital it was too late. Apparently it was a shady crowd, but I'm not sure who. Demonic crap for sure. Honestly, I sensed the people he was around were dark. This feedback from them makes me believe that he truly did visit me, and that it wasn't just an odd dream. It makes me believe he probably was murdered, because he specifically told me so. I'm getting the vibe everyone was on bad substances and foul play happened. And I'm also getting the feeling that maybe he was asking me for help because he just passed. Maybe he was afraid and desperate to get back to his body, I don't know. But I like to think that it just happened, but that after he visited me, that he went into the light and it's just in a good place now. I don't know how the afterlife works, but this is really selling me on the afterlife for sure. What are your guys' thoughts? Anyone else experience something similar? Case notes for the bonus file. I had a dream about my friend's death, and then this happened. So I just want to say I'm sorry for your loss. It's tragic. I'm always saddened when people turn to substances for support. They don't have what they need from life itself. Maybe too scared to ask directly for help, mending, therapy, and so on. But then they have a bad batch and it just ends, even by accident or indeed maybe targeted. It's just terrible. As far as it came into your dream state, I believe he did. Dreaming isn't when our minds are shut off. I think it's when our minds are most active and most searching, kind of like when you prompt your phone to scan for Bluetooth or Wi-Fi signals. It's searching for that connection. And your friend's soul could see this. I wonder what it would look like. As if you were glowing available? No matter. At least you got to see him one more time. As far as his life, he's likely in a parallel universe. His sentience anyways. Completely unaware he perished in the original world he was from. And now time for the quote of the day. Happiness is to be found along the way, not at the end of the road. Robert de Graaf. I probably butchered his last name there. But yes, if your whole goal in life is to reach the end, a certain achievement, and you're only going to be happy when you reach that achievement, well, if it's a lifetime achievement, you're going to reach it and then you have like 5 minutes and then it's over. The game's done. That doesn't seem practical. You're going to have like 5 minutes when you achieve something, even if it doesn't take your lifetime. And then you're just going to say, well, what's the next goal? And I'm not saying don't have goals, but I'm just saying enjoy the process of getting there, every step you take. Instead of that end point, enjoy both of it. Enjoy the reward, the achievement, and the process to get there. Because the process is most of your life. Like the video, subscribe, hit the bell. Kinetic Symphony, signing off.